They say 10 tigers are no match for a single lion. But there's an old folk saying, the tiger sits in the hall, while the lion guards the gate. The tiger is seen as the incarnation of a fierce deity, while the lion is a symbol of justice. To prove the tiger is the true king of beasts, I was reincarnated as a fat tiger in Panzihua Zoo. Even though keepers feed me carefully every day, I won't touch a single bite. I'm on a frantic weight loss mission. It's all because a solar flare will erupt in 6 months, and every living creature will mutate into a terrifying beast. In my previous life, 2 king-class beasts emerged from this very zoo. A crocodile mutated into the Styx dragon croc, and a chimpanzee mutated into the mountain shaker. Other animals didn't even have time to complete their mutations before they became their prey. If I want to escape this zoo alive, I must strike first. I have to kill them before they can mutate. After all, I am the king of beasts. That crocodile and chimp are nothing before they change. But I have a massive problem right now. The zoo's diet has been far too generous. Looking at my sleek, oily fat, I don't look like the king of beasts at all. I'm undoubtedly the fattest tiger in the enclosure. 120 days until the mutation. Today, my weight loss plan officially begins. 11 a.m. Old Zhang the keeper carries a big basin of chicken legs, walking into the tiger enclosure. This was my favorite delicacy in my past life. Plump and juicy, I used to lick the bowl clean every time, but not today. I turn my head away, not even giving it a glance. Old Zhang is stunned. He tentatively pushes the basin toward me. I simply turn around and walk away. Strange. This guy is acting weird today. Old Zhang mutters as he leaves. I hold back my cravings and start my routine. The enclosure isn't big, but it's enough for shuttle runs. I dash from one end to the other, pivot sharply and dash back over and over again. Fat jiggles on my body, every step feeling incredibly heavy. But I grit my teeth and persevere. When I'm tired of running, I climb the artificial tree. Digging my front claws into the trunk, I drag my weight up by sheer force. To my current self, this is pure torture. More and more tourists gather to watch. Gosh, he can climb trees. Is he trying to lose weight? That's so cute. Quick! Take a video. I don't care what these humans think. During training breaks, my gaze drifts over the fence, locking on to 2 targets. First, the saltwater crocodile in the reptile house is a full 5 meters long, spends all day basking lazily on the rocks. In my last life, this thing mutated into the Styx dragon croc. Its dark armor was hard as iron, and it crushed 3 mutated wolves in one bite. It's the number 1 threat I must eliminate. Second, the chimpanzee in the primate zone. Don't be fooled by its current begging for bananas. After mutation, it becomes the mountain shaker with infinite strength and high intelligence. Last time, it slaughtered the entire bird sanctuary. These 2 beasts must be killed before they change. I count down silently in my heart. 99 days until doomsday. As evening falls, I'm sprawled on the ground, gasping for breath, but I feel incredibly at peace. If I keep this up, I'll surely regain my true tiger form. For the next 30 days, I push myself to the limit. I start training before dawn every day. Shuttle runs increase from 100 sets to 500. From barely being able to climb a tree, I can now do pull-ups on the branches. I only eat a third of the food the keeper brings, picking out only lean meat and organs. I ignore all those fatty chicken legs. Old Zhang is worried sick, thinking I'm ill. He specifically calls a vet to check on me. The result, nothing's wrong. The numbers on the scale are plummeting. From 160 kilograms to 150 kilograms, then down to 140 kilograms. The flab on my belly is gone. Muscle definition is reappearing. I can feel the inner power finally returning to me. Dawn on the 21st day. I stand by the pool, looking at my reflection. The sleek, fat tiger is gone. In its place is a lean, powerful predator. My speed has more than doubled. Good. It's time to act. I begin observing the guards' patrol patterns. The guards patrol at 11 p.m. and 3 a.m. CCTV covers most of the area, but there's a blind spot, that old wire fence on the west side of the Tiger Hill. Because it's hidden by branches all year round, the cameras can't see it, and that fence is already rusted through. I've been testing it with my claws lately. I can tear it open if I use enough force. The opportunity arrives on the night of the 25th day. The weather forecast was right. A heavy rainstorm arrives as scheduled. Thunder rumbles, and lightning illuminates the zoo in pale flashes. Monitoring systems are most likely to fail in this weather. Guards won't patrol carefully in the rain either. At 2 a.m., I move. Under the cover of thunder, I throw my full weight against the wire fence. The rusted wire snaps instantly. I squeeze through. The rain hitting my body is freezing, but my blood is boiling. Following my pre-observed route, I avoid all the cameras. I cross the park like a dark shadow, heading straight for the reptile house. The crocodile pool is in an outdoor area. It should be resting underwater now. I slip silently into the water. The icy water makes me shiver, but I adapt quickly. By the light of the lightning, I see the massive beast. sunk to the bottom, motionless. I must kill it in one strike. I take a deep breath and submerge. Paddling slowly, I close in 3 meters, 2 meters, 1 meter. Just as I'm about to strike, the crocodile's eyes suddenly snap open. It was already awake, no time to think. I lunge forward, locking my jaws onto the back of its neck. The crocodile struggles frantically, its tail lashing me like a steel whip. The pain almost makes me lose my grip, tumbling underwater. My lungs are screaming, but I know I can't let go. This is my only chance. It tries to shake me off, so I use my weight to pin it. It tries to surface, so I drag it down with all my might. Memories of my past life tell me that no matter how fierce a crocodile is, it needs to breathe. I can hold my breath longer than it can. This is my advantage. 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes. The crocodile's struggle grows weaker. I don't let go until it's completely still. I drag its carcass to the surface, gasping for air. The rain is still falling, the thunder still roaring. No one has noticed what happened here. I leave a few claw marks on the crocodile's body, and smear some blood on the rocks by the pool, making it look like it crawled out on its own and had a fatal fall. With the deed done, I leave quickly. Returning to the tiger enclosure the way I came, I pull the wire fence back so it looks untouched. Dawn is breaking by the time I'm back inside. I'm soaked through. I lie in the corner and pretend to sleep. The next morning, the keeper's scream echoes from the reptile house. I watch through the bars. Several staff members are gathered around the crocodile pool, talking. Maybe it was just old age. Slipped and drowned while trying to climb out at night. Or maybe the thunder scared it. What a shame. I close my eyes, thinking silently, 75 days until the end. Next target, the chimpanzee. But what I don't know is that in the primate zone, that chimpanzee is already far away, letting out an uneasy low growl in my direction. The crocodile's death caused a chain reaction. The next day, the zoo director personally led an inspection of all exhibits, focusing on safety hazards. I saw them checking the crocodile pool repeatedly and reviewing the CCTV footage. Luckily, on that stormy night, the system really had glitched. Most of the footage was just static. They eventually ruled it an accident, but security was still tightened. Patrols increased from 2 to 4 times a day. New cameras were installed in every exhibit, even covering my old blind spot. Worse still, the keepers started paying extra attention to every animal state. Old Zhang spent half an hour every day watching me from outside the cage. I had to be more careful. What unsettled me most was that chimpanzee. His name is King Kong, the zoo's star attraction. He can use sign language to talk to keepers. His IQ is that of a 5-year-old child. Since the crocodile died, he has become exceptionally irritable. Every time I pass the path near the primate area, he rushes to the glass wall, pounding it frantically and letting out ear-piercing screams. His eyes are filled with vigilance and hostility. His wild instincts are telling him I'm dangerous. This is bad. If he keeps making a scene, it will eventually attract attention. I must make everyone believe that I'm just an ordinary tiger, harmless to humans and beasts, zero threat. So I start acting. I refuse to eat. I lie in the corner all day, motionless. Old Zhang panics and calls the vet immediately. The vet gives me a full checkup, taking my temperature, listening to my heart, and drawing blood for tests. After a whole morning of poking and prodding, all my vitals are normal. Maybe it's emotional. Tigers can get depressed too. The weather's been bad lately. Not enough sunlight. It's affecting his activity levels. I play along, acting weak. I even wobble when I try to stand. Old Zhang is heartbroken. He prepares the best beef for me and puts new toys in the cage. I take a few symbolic bites, then go back to playing sick. It works. A week later, everyone thinks I'm just suffering from seasonal depression. Even the director stops worrying about me. The security guards, seeing me on their screens, just glance and then switch to another camera. But only I know what I'm doing in the middle of the night. 3 a.m. Just after the patrol guard passes, I wake from my slumber. I walk to a corner of the cage, where there's a rough concrete wall. I extend my right paw and grind it hard against the wall. Screech, screech. The sound of claws on concrete is piercing in the silence. I keep grinding until my claws are sharp as razors. Left paw, right paw, back paws, every single one must be sharpened. Once finished, I practice my pouncing, simulating attacks on the air, calculating the best angles of force, finding the most lethal bite positions. The chimpanzee isn't a crocodile. He's agile, strong, and intelligent. I must kill him with a single blow. I can't give him any chance to counterattack. Playing sick by day, training by night, I've pushed myself to the limit. 60 days until the end. That evening, as I lay pretending to sleep as usual, I heard a commotion from the primate zone. King Kong was going mad. He smashed the decorations on the glass wall, tore his tire toys to shreds, and attacked a keeper trying to calm him. He's been getting more violent lately. Is he sick too? Let's isolate him for observation. Don't let any tourists get close. I looked through the bars, and my eyes met King Kong's. Across a distance of hundreds of meters, he bared his fangs at me and let out a deep, guttural roar. That was a declaration of war. I narrowed my eyes, baring my own sharp teeth. Come on then. I'm waiting for you. But not now. It has to be the moment I'm ready. Night falls. I continue to hone my claws. Deep gouges have been left in the cement wall, and my claws glint coldly in the moonlight. Just then, an emergency announcement comes over the radio. The Weather Bureau has issued a warning. A major holiday is in 3 days, with expected peak visitor crowds, accompanied by severe convective weather. Please prepare safety measures. I stop what I'm doing, my heart racing. The chance is here. 3 days pass in a flash. I use this time to scout the terrain repeatedly. From the Tiger Hill to the Primate Zone, the shortest route is through the Central Plaza. But that's where cameras are densest. The secondary route goes around the Monkey Hill through the Bird Sanctuary and enters via the side gate. This path has 2 blind spots. As long as I'm fast enough, I can get there before being noticed. On the holiday, the zoo is a sea of people. By 10 a.m., the number of visitors has exceeded 5,000. The Central Plaza is packed with parents and children. Screams and laughter are everywhere. Security is busy maintaining order. They have no time for the monitoring room. I see the window of the monitoring room. There's only one person on duty, and they're looking down at their phone. The forecast was accurate. Dark clouds begin to gather, and the air is thick with the heat before a storm. This is the perfect moment. 12 p.m. The Tiger viewing platform is crowded. A group of elementary students is visiting with their teacher, pointing and whispering at me. Teacher, this tiger looks so thin. Is he sick? He just lies there and doesn't move. So boring. I slowly stand up. Everyone excitedly raises their phones. I walk toward the glass curtain wall. It's 5 centimeters thick tempered glass, supposedly able to withstand a ton of force. But I know its weakness. When the apocalypse hit in my last life, this glass cracked from the bottom left corner. Because the bolts there had been loose for years. I just need to hit the right spot. With enough force, it will shatter. I take 10 steps back, crouching low into a predatory stance. The tourists think I'm putting on a show and begin to cheer. The teacher tells the kids to back away, but no one listens. I take a deep breath, my muscles tensing, and then I charge. 150 kilograms of weight plus the momentum of a full sprint. Slams into the glass like a cannonball. Target, bottom left. A massive impact. The entire exhibit seems to tremble. Web-like cracks appear on the glass, spreading out from the point of impact. I don't stop. Backing up a few steps, I ram it again. My God, it's breaking. Run. Screams erupt everywhere. The crowd descends into chaos. Parents grab their kids and run. Someone is knocked to the ground. The scene is instantly out of control. Emergency at the Tiger Hill. The glass is nearly gone. Get the tranquilizer guns. A fourth impact, and the glass finally gives way. The entire wall collapses with a roar. I burst through. The platform is a scene of carnage and panic. Everyone is running for their lives. I don't attack anyone. I leap over the crowd, heading for my planned route. I hear guards shouting and sirens blaring behind me, but I ignore them. Bypassing the Monkey Hill, the monkeys scatter in terror at my presence. Tearing through the bird sanctuary, the birds take flight in panic, blotting out the sky. I weave through the chaos like black lightning. 30 seconds. I've covered 200 meters. Ahead is the side gate of the Primate Zone. That door, the keeper forgot to lock it. When evacuating the tourists, I ram the door open and charge inside. The interior of the Primate Zone is a massive indoor facility, simulating a tropical rainforest. Tall artificial trees, vines, and ropes for the chimps to climb. It's empty now. All the tourists have been evacuated. I stop and scan my surroundings warily. Suddenly, a low growl comes from above. I snap my head up to see King Kong perched on a branch 5 meters high, staring down at me. He's even bigger than I imagined. Lumps of muscle, arms as thick as tree trunks. In his hand, he's clutching an iron bar, a prop the keepers used to train him. Now he's using it as a weapon. We stare at each other, the air frozen between us. King Kong suddenly opens his mouth, revealing razor-sharp fangs, and lets out an earth-shattering roar. It's a defiant challenge, and a final warning. I roar back, the sound echoing in the enclosed hall. Hasty footsteps echo from afar. Security is coming with tranquilizer guns. I don't have much time. I arch my back, tail tensed, ready for battle. King Kong leaps from the tree, landing steadily 10 meters in front of me. He raises the iron bar, taking an offensive stance. The king of beasts against the primate overlord. This fight is to the death. King Kong strikes first. He swings the iron bar, lashing it toward my head like a warrior's axe. In the whistling wind, I can feel the terrifying power behind it. I don't meet it head-on. I dodge to the side. The bar slams into the ground, instantly shattering the concrete floor and kicking up a cloud of dust. Such speed, such strength. He truly is the future mountain shaker. Even without mutating, that strength is enough to crush my skull. I can't let him hit me, not even once. King Kong doesn't pause. He swings the bar in a horizontal sweep. I duck low, lunging at his lower body. My claws rip into his thigh, tearing open a bloody gash. King Kong screams in pain, a roar of pure rage. He brings the bar down in a backhand strike toward my spine. I feel the danger. I roll away in the nick of time. The iron bar grazes my fur, taking a few tufts of tiger hair with it. That was close. I almost got hit. This is a battle of pure physical force. There's no room for clever tricks. King Kong drops the iron bar. He realizes that in close-quarters combat, a weapon is a hindrance. He spreads his arms, revealing the thick slabs of muscle on his chest. That is his strongest defense. He wants to fight me to the death in the most primitive way. I circle him, looking for a weakness. King Kong turns with me, always keeping his front toward me. The light of intelligence flickers in his eyes. This is no ordinary beast. He can think, judge, and even predict my movements. After a 10-second stalemate, I suddenly accelerate, feinting an attack to his left. King Kong immediately turns to defend, but that's exactly what I wanted. I stop mid-stride, change direction, and pounce from the right. This time, my teeth sink into his shoulder. King Kong howls in agony, grabbing my neck with both hands, trying to pry me off. His grip is terrifyingly strong. I can feel it becoming hard to breathe, but I don't let go. Instead, I bite harder, my fangs sinking deep into his muscle. King Kong thrashes his body wildly, desperate to shake me off. My limbs are locked onto his torso, clinging to him like a shadow. He grabs my hind legs and slams me into the ground with all his might. Once, twice, 3 times. My internal organs feel like they're being crushed, but I still don't let go, because I know that letting go means death. King Kong's strength begins to fade. Blood loss is slowing him down. I seize the opportunity, release his shoulder, and instantly go for his throat. This is the King of Beasts' finishing move. Finally, my fangs pierce his windpipe. King Kong's eyes bulge, his hands feebly slapping at my body. He tries to breathe, but his throat has been torn open. Blood gushes from the wound, staining my face red. His struggles grow weaker and weaker until he finally slumps to the ground. I release my grip and gasp for air. I'm covered in injuries. A few ribs might be broken, and my hind leg is bleeding, but I won. The 2 major threats have been neutralized. Just then, rapid footsteps echo from the entrance. Quick! Over there! The tranquilizer guns! I turn my head and see 3 guards charging in with tranquilizer rifles. I want to run, but my body has reached its limit. The first dart hits my hind leg. The second sinks into my shoulder. The sedative acts fast. My vision begins to blur, and my limbs feel like lead. I stumble trying to stay upright, but eventually, I collapse onto the ground. As my consciousness fades, I use my last ounce of strength to lift my head and look through the glass skylight, toward the sky. At that moment, I see something that shouldn't be there. A bizarre red light appears on the horizon. It's not a sunset, and it's not a normal cloud. It's a blood-red color I've never seen before. The red light spreads across the horizon, as if the sky itself is bleeding. No, this is wrong. There should be over 50 days until doomsday. The solar flare shouldn't be happening now. Is it because I changed history? Has the timeline shifted? The red light grows more intense, dyeing the entire sky the color of blood. I want to struggle. I want to escape this place, but the sedative has completely seized my body. My eyelids grow heavy, and finally they close tight. My last thought before blacking out: it's over. Everything is happening early. Intense pain jolts me back from the void. I open my eyes, to find myself locked in a strange place. This isn't the tiger enclosure. It's a specialized cage made entirely of metal. The walls are 10 centimeters thick. This is the zoo's isolation zone, reserved for the most dangerous animals. I try to stand, but every bone in my body screams in pain. The fight with King Kong had a heavy price. 3 broken ribs, a left eye so swollen I can barely open it, and the wound on my hind leg is still seeping blood. Worst of all, the sky outside the window has turned completely blood red. It's not a normal red, but a crimson that makes your heart race, as if the entire heavens are on fire. The air is thick with a scorched smell. The temperature is rising rapidly. I can hear the chaos outside. Sirens, screams, and the panicked bellows of animals. The solar flare is really happening, and it's 50 days earlier than in my previous life. Looking through the iron bars, the zoo is in total turmoil. Tourists are fleeing in terror, led by security, but many have already collapsed on the ground, their bodies undergoing bizarre transformations. Scales are growing on some people's skin. Fingers are turning into sharp claws. The mutations have begun. At that moment, Something happens inside my own body. A scorching energy rises from my gut, flowing through my veins like molten lava. I look down at my stomach, where something is writhing under a bulge in my skin. I suddenly remember, when I tore out King Kong's throat, I swallowed a piece of his flesh and blood. That flesh is now burning inside me. The pain comes without warning. My skeleton begins to break and reconfigure. Every bone is making a loud snap, a cracking sound. I roll on the floor in agony, my claws scraping against the metal floor. With an ear-piercing screech, my fur starts falling out, coming off in large patches, revealing new skin growing underneath. That new skin isn't the usual orange-yellow. It's a deep, obsidian black, embellished with golden patterns. Black and gold intertwined, as if I'm being draped in a suit of armor. My size is exploding. Muscles swell before my very eyes. My frame is extending. My original 300-pound weight is skyrocketing. 400 pounds, 500 pounds, 600 pounds. The metal cage begins to groan under the immense weight. The most painful part is the change to my head. My skull is being reshaped. 2 bony protrusions sprout from my forehead like a crown. My fangs grow even sharper, each one as long as a dagger. Blood-red tears stream from my eyes. My vision shifts from blurry to crystal clear. I can see energy particles floating in the air. I can see the tiny cracks in the walls. I can even see, hundreds of meters away, the mutation process of other animals. This is awakening. I don't know how much time has passed, but the pain finally recedes. I slump on the floor, panting hard, drenched in sweat. But I can feel it. My body is filled with unprecedented power. I stand up. The top of my head almost touches the 3-meter-high ceiling. I look down at myself. My once slender body has turned into a massive beast of knotted muscle. The black and gold fur glimmers with a metallic sheen in the dim light. I try swinging a claw. With a gentle swipe, 5 deep gouges appear instantly on the metal wall. This power is far greater than in my last life. I understand now, because I killed the 2 potential kings early and devoured King Kong's flesh. I have become the first creature in this zoo to complete its awakening. The other animals are still in the painful throes of mutation. This is my advantage. Suddenly, a piercing scream comes from outside. I see a hair-raising scene. In the zebra enclosure, the normally gentle zebras are tearing into each other. Their teeth have become serrated. Their eyes gleam with a bloodthirsty red light. One zebra snaps its companion's neck, madly devouring the flesh. In the peacock garden, the peacock's feathers have turned into steel-like blades. They flap their wings and slice the fences to ribbons. On Monkey Hill, the monkey sizes have exploded. They've turned into hideous monsters, attacking tourists who are trying to flee. The entire zoo has become a hellscape. I take a deep breath and ram the metal gate with all my force. Once, twice. On the 3rd try, the gate finally buckles and bursts open. I charge out of the isolation zone, standing under the blood-red sky. More roars echo from the distance. Those are the howls of mutated beasts. But I am not afraid, because I am the strongest being here. Just then, I hear a faint cry for help. It's old Zhang's voice. He's trapped in the office building. I hesitate for a second, then run in that direction. Not out of kindness, but because in this apocalypse, I need someone who knows this place. I sprint toward the office building, each stride covering 7 or 8 meters. My awakened body is terrifyingly powerful. The ground trembles beneath my feet, leaving behind deep paw prints. The path is littered with bodies, tourists, guards, and even some humans halfway through mutation. Their bodies are twisted into grotesque shapes. Some have grown tentacles. Some have faces that have split open, revealing the fangs inside. These half-mutants suffer the most. Neither human nor beast. They can only wail in agony on the ground. I ignore them and charge straight for the office building. A mutated zebra blocks my path. The size has doubled. Its black and white stripes have turned blood red. Its mouth is full of serrated fangs, and it's currently gnawing on a corpse. Hearing my approach, it looks up, its eyes gleaming with a manic red light. With a shrill neigh, it charges at me. I don't dodge. I leap to meet it head-on, slamming a claw into its head. The massive force crushes its skull instantly. The zebra doesn't even have time to scream before it hits the ground dead. Just then, I notice something strange. The zebra's forehead splits open, and a thumb-sized crystal rolls out. The crystal is dark red, emitting a faint glow. My body instinctively craves it. It's a hunger coming from deep within my genes. I walk over and swallow the crystal in one gulp. A stream of pure energy floods my body. My broken ribs begin to knit back together. The wound on my hind leg scabs over and falls away. Not only that, but my strength is increasing too. It's not by much, but it's definitely there. This is a crystal core. I had heard about them in my last life. Mutated beasts form these cores in their brains after death. They are the concentrated essence of their energy. Devouring them can accelerate evolution and stabilize one's level. I didn't expect to find one so soon. I pick up my pace. A dozen mutated monkeys have gathered around the office building. They used to be the size of cats, but now each one is as tall as a grown man. Their arms are as thick as pillars, and they are frantically ramming the doors. Old Zhang's voice cries out from the second floor. Help! Someone save me! The mutated monkeys grow even more excited at the sound. They begin to scale the walls, trying to get in through the windows. I let out an earth-shattering roar. The sound echoes through the entire zoo. Every mutated monkey freezes. They turn and see the massive behemoth I've become. Instinctive fear makes them back away a few steps, but soon, the madness of mutation overrides that fear. They pounce on me all at once. It's a slaughter. I charge into the pack, each swipe of my claws shredding a monkey. Their attacks land on my body, but they only leave faint white marks. They can't even break my defense. In less than a minute, all 13 monkeys lie in a pool of blood. I quickly gather the crystal cores, swallowing all 13 in one go. The energy pools inside me, making my power feel even more grounded. I look up at him. It's you. You're that tiger. I nod my head. Old Zhang is stunned. A tiger that can understand human speech, and even nod, but he quickly snaps out of it. Now is not the time for shock. He rushes downstairs and opens the main door. Old Zhang's voice is trembling. Thank you. What on earth is happening out there? I can't answer him. I just nudge him with my nose, signaling for him to follow me. I lead him to the zoo's underground warehouse. This is where food and medicine are stored. The walls are thick. There's only one entrance, and it's easy to defend. I push old Zhang inside, then block the door with a massive iron cabinet. Stay here. Do not come out. I scratch these words into the floor with my claws. Old Zhang looks at the writing, tears streaming down his face. Don't worry. I'll wait here for you to come back. I turn and leave. There are still too many mutated beasts in the zoo. I need to clear them out and collect more crystal cores. I only take a few steps before I suddenly stop. A foul, rotting stench hits the air. It's the smell of a decaying corpse. But the scent is too thick, unnaturally so. I follow the smell to the reptile house. The pool there has turned black. A massive number of dead fish float on the surface. Something is writhing in the center of the pool. I move closer to look, and my pupils instantly contract. It's the body of the curved jaw crocodile, but it's coming back to life. Its rotting flesh is reassembling. Its shattered bones are knitting back together. A green light burns in its eye sockets, and its body reeks of death. A zombie mutation. I killed him, but in the radiation-soaked pool, he has reanimated into a monster far more terrifying than when he was alive. He opens his eyes and stares right at me, slowly crawling out of the pool. Each step splashes putrid water. His body is no longer normal flesh and blood, but a carcass forced together by radiation energy. Bleached bone shows through his rotting scales. His internal organs have long since decayed. Inside his chest cavity, only a ball of flickering green ghost fire remains. That is his core, the source of his undeath. There is no emotion in his eyes, only hatred for the living. I take a step back and assume a combat stance. This guy is more trouble than I expected. The primal crocodile from my past life was powerful, but at least he was a living thing. He had weaknesses and felt pain. But this undead version has transcended the boundaries of life and death. He suddenly accelerates. His massive frame explodes with a speed that defies logic. I dodge to the side. His tail sweeps across, smashing the rockery behind me into gravel. What incredible power. He's at least 3 times stronger than when he was alive. I counterattack, slamming a claw into his head. My claws sink deep into his skull. The sensation of bone beneath my pads clear, but he doesn't react at all. He just opens his jaws and goes for my neck. No sense of pain. That's the scariest part. I barely dodge, his fangs grazing my fur as they snap shut. Just then, human screams come from the distance. It's the tourists. A dozen survivors are hiding in the gift shop. The undead crocodile hears them. He abandons me and starts crawling in that direction. I give chase. He's moving surprisingly fast. He smashes through the shop's glass doors and charges into the crowd. Screams erupt from all sides. A security guard tries to resist with a taser, but the croc sends him flying with one swipe of his tail. The guard hits the wall and is killed instantly. I pounce and sink my teeth into the croc's hind leg, trying to drag him back, but he doesn't even flinch, continuing his massacre. A woman holding a child hides behind a counter. The croc flips the counter with a single claw and opens his cavernous mouth. I release his leg, bite his tail instead, and pull back with all my body weight. I finally manage to drag him out, but he turns instantly into a death roll. I'm tossed across the ground, rolling several times, only stopping after smashing into 3 trash cans. The survivors in the shop take the chance to run, but 5 people have already died under his claws. I scramble up, battered and bruised. The undead croc stands back up too. He has a dozen new gashes deep enough to show bone, but not a single drop of blood comes out. Inside those wounds, there's only rotting black meat and writhing maggots. He won't bleed. He won't feel pain. He won't get tired. He's 100 times harder to deal with than the living version. The crocodile lunges at me again. He's learned now. He's not just using his teeth, but lashing out with his tail. That tail is like a steel whip, each swing cracking the air. I dodge left and right, but I still get hit twice. A sharp pain flares in my ribs. This can't go on. I have to find his weakness. Observing closely, I notice that every time he attacks, the green fire in his chest burns brighter. That fire is his energy core. Destroy that fire, and he'll stay dead for good. But the question is how to destroy it. His ribs are like iron bars protecting his chest cavity. My claws can't pierce through, and his reaction time is so fast that he won't give me an opening. While I'm thinking of a plan, the croc suddenly stops attacking. He lifts his head and sniffs the air, then starts crawling in a new direction. That's the direction of the underground warehouse. Old Zhang is still there. The monster can sense the scent of the living. He's going for Old Zhang. I have to stop him, but with my current strength, I simply can't kill this monster. I need a weapon, something that can crush his core. Suddenly, I remember a place. The zoo's maintenance area. There's a high-voltage substation there, along with all sorts of maintenance tools. If I can lure the monster there, using high-voltage electricity and explosions, might be enough to destroy his core, but it's incredibly dangerous. One mistake and I'll be killed in the blast too. The undead croc has already reached the warehouse door. He starts clawing at the entrance. The iron cabinets blocking it are swaying under his assault. Old Zhang screams in terror from inside. I don't have time to hesitate. I lunged forward and bit the croc's tail, dragging him back with all my might. Enraged, the monster turns to pounce on me. I let go and immediately start running, sprinting toward the maintenance area. He's hot on my heels. He's faster than me now. The distance between us constantly shrinking. The maintenance area is just ahead. I can see the warning sign for the high-voltage substation. Just a little faster. Just a little more. The croc's claws slash at my hindquarters. I feel the agonizing pain of my flesh being torn open, but I can't stop. To stop is to die. 50 meters. 30 meters. At 10 meters, I burst into the maintenance area. The undead croc follows right behind. Now it's time for the final showdown. The maintenance area is an open space. 3 massive transformers stand in the center, surrounded by piles of tools and oil drums. The high-voltage warning signs look particularly stark under the blood-red sky. I rush next to the substation and spin around suddenly. The croc follows close behind. He doesn't sense the danger at all, only obsessed with tearing me to pieces. He lunges at me. I sidestep and he slams headfirst into the transformers. The massive impact triggers a shrill alarm from the equipment, sending sparks flying everywhere. But this level of current is just a tickle to him. He shakes his head and lunges at me once more. My gaze sweeps the surroundings and spots a dozen oil drums stacked in the corner. Maintenance diesel. Every drum is filled to the brim. A plan forms in my mind. I deliberately slow down to let the croc chase me. His claws snag my back leg again. I use the momentum to roll toward the oil drums. The monster pounces. I roll away at the very last second. His heavy body smashes right into the barrels. The drums are knocked over, spilling diesel all over the ground. A pungent odor fills the air. The undead croc stands in the oil slick, the green fire in his chest flickering more violently. He seems to sense danger and starts to back away, but it's too late. I charge at the substation and slash my claws across the control panel. Sparks fly everywhere, wires snap, and high-voltage current goes haywire, leaping through the air. An arc of electricity lands on the oil slick, instantly igniting the diesel. The flames roar as they spread, surrounding the croc in the blink of an eye. But fire alone isn't enough. His body is already rotted. He doesn't fear the heat. He charges through the sea of fire toward me. Just then, the substation begins to smoke from the overload. The sound of internal cracking still isn't enough. I need even more power. In that exact moment, I feel something awakening deep inside me. It's a metallic energy, surging from my core up to my throat. My throat vibrates in a strange way. Visible ripples appear in the air. This is my innate ability. Steel-ribbed tiger roar. I take a deep breath and release a heaven-shaking roar at the croc. The sound isn't a normal roar, but a sonic attack carrying a metallic vibrato. The sound waves turn into physical force, manifesting like countless sharp blades. The croc's rotten flesh is shredded by the waves. His ribs snap, and a massive rift is forced open in his chest. The green ghost fire is exposed to the air. Now's the time. The electrical equipment finally can't take it anymore. It lets out a final, dying hum. I turn and run. A deafening explosion erupts behind me. Flames soar into the sky, high-voltage current, and the shock wave of the blast interweave, forming a storm of destructive energy. The monster is swallowed by the blast. He lets out a final, hideous cry. The ghost fire in his chest, under the dual assault of heat and electricity, finally goes out. The aftershock of the blast sends me flying several meters. I slam heavily onto the ground, my body scorched black, a large patch of my fur burned away. But I survived. I struggle to stand up and look toward the center of the explosion. The undead Croc's body has been blown to bits, scattered across the ground. That green ghost fire has completely vanished, leaving only a fist-sized black core lying quietly amidst the wreckage. I walk over and pick up the core in my mouth. It's much heavier than ordinary ones, containing a terrifying amount of energy. I swallow it in one gulp. Instantly, I feel my internal power skyrocket. My injuries heal rapidly. The charred fur falls away, and new black gold fur grows in. My size increases once again. My muscles become denser, and my claws become even sharper. I stand in the center of the ruins and roar. The sound echoes throughout the zoo. All the creatures still undergoing mutation feel this overwhelming pressure. It's the proclamation of a king. From now on, this territory has only one master. I turn and leave the maintenance area, heading deeper into the zoo. There are more mutated beasts to clear out, and more cores to collect. But after taking just a few steps, I suddenly stop. In the distant sky, massive shadow appears. It's not a cloud, nor a bird, but a life form so huge it's unimaginable. It drifts in and out of the clouds. With a wingspan of at least 100 meters, the giant shadow in the sky soon vanishes into the depths of the clouds. But its appearance makes me realize that the world outside has completely changed. I look away and continue clearing the zoo. Over the next few hours, I sweep through the entire park. The mutated vultures in the bird zone, the mutated bison in the herbivore zone, and the mutated sharks in the aquarium, they all became my prey. With every mutated beast I kill, I collect its essence core. By the time I swallow my 50th core, my body undergoes another qualitative change. A massive wave of energy explodes within me. My bones let out a thunderous boom. My black gold fur becomes even more radiant, each strand like polished metal. The bone crown on my forehead extends into complex patterns, looking like the diadem of an ancient emperor. My weight settles at 800 pounds, standing 2.5 meters tall at the shoulder and over 4 meters in length. Standing there, I look like a mobile fortress, steel-ribbed beast king. This is my current state. I walk toward the zoo's central plaza for a final inspection. But halfway there, I discover a new danger. The plants are mutating too. The century-old banyan tree in the plaza has tripled in size. Its branches wave in the air like tentacles. The grass on the ground has turned blood red, each blade as sharp as a knife. The roses in the flower beds have grown fanged petals, devouring a mutated rat that wandered in. The entire zoo has turned into a massive forbidden zone for life. I carefully navigate through the mutated flora and reach the underground warehouse. Old Zhang is still inside. Hearing my footsteps, he opens the door slightly. Old partner, you've evolved. Looking at me, complex emotions flash in Old Zhang's eyes. I nod. Using my claw, I write on the ground, I am leaving. Old Zhang is silent for a moment, then says, I understand. It's no longer safe here. You need to go to a wider world. He pulls a ring of keys from his pocket. These are the keys to the director's office. There's a map of the whole city inside, and the locations of supply depots. Go take a look if you need to. I take the keys in my mouth and give him one last look. Old Zhang says, if humanity ever rebuilds civilization, I will tell them that a tiger once protected us. I turn to leave. Without looking back, I go to the director's office and unlock the door. The maps inside mark the entire layout of Panzihua City, including the military bases, hospitals, and grain depots. I commit the map to memory and walk out of the office. Standing at the highest point in the zoo, I look around. The once bustling amusement park is now just ruins. The once gentle animals have either died or turned into monsters. This, my first battlefield after rebirth, has been completely conquered by me. But this is just the beginning. I can feel that beyond the zoo's walls, even more powerful auras are surging. Those auras are more terrifying than any mutated beast I've met. The world outside is the true hunting ground. I take a deep breath, channeling the energy within me. The steel-ribbed tiger roar rings out again. This time it's louder than ever before. The sonic waves become tangible, shattering nearby glass and overturning the rubble on the ground. This is my declaration and also my farewell. The roar travels into the distance, echoing across the entire city. I take a few running steps and leap with all my power. My 800-pound frame carves an arc through the air, easily clearing the 5-meter-high wall. I land steadily on the road outside. My claws dig deep marks into the asphalt. I glance back at the zoo. There are still a few survivors there, hiding in safe rooms and shivering As they look at me, their eyes are filled with awe and fear. I ignore them and turn toward the heart of the city. Abandoned cars litter the streets. Mutated vines crawl all over the buildings. Various roars drift from the distance, some human, some monstrous. The sky is still blood red. The sun is nowhere to be seen. Only that eerie red light shrouds everything. I walk down the empty streets, every step brimming with power. Suddenly, a deafening roar erupts from a building ahead. That roar carries a heavy pressure, a challenge, and a claim to territory. Something is waiting for me. I stop in my tracks, a cold sneer playing on my lips. Bring it on. Let's see what else in this apocalyptic city can stand in my way. My journey has only just begun.